Aloha, High Vibe Tribe. Welcome back to my channel. This is going to be an energy update and preparation for us as we're in the Solstice Gateway, preparing us all as Starseeds, Lightworkers, 144,000, Twin and Soul Flames, Lightworkers, preparing us for the 7-7 Gateway and ultimately the 8-8 Lions Gate. So I had a download and then I was given the rest of it this morning, and I'm going to pull a couple of cards. Thank you, everyone, for liking, subscribing, and sharing. If this resonates with you, thank you for sharing it in groups or with family and friends. And that like button helps the message reach a larger audience. So I really, really appreciate it. So I'm so happy, High Vibe Tribe, to be here and to bring you this information. There's so much going on. So at this time that I'm recording it on the 23rd of June, we are receiving quite a few spikes in the Schumann resonance, which is representative of very powerful light code activations coming and activating our DNA. I just created an overview of the seals that are blocking our DNA expansion, so you can check that out. And our DNA is slowly being brought online. However, those of us that resonate with being a star seed, being part of the 144,000, being boots on the ground crew, we're being, all of those of us in our heart and soul that know that we're being called to move this plan along for new earth into for the ascension, for the awakening of Gaia and all the collective that are ready to move us into that next level of 12 strands of DNA being activated, knowing that we're connected to source and knowing that we can manifest, and bringing us back in to the law of the one, the power of the one, and connecting to God, source, creator, all that is. We are being guided that we can do this now, but there's some pieces of the puzzle that I'll be bringing to you and others will be bringing to you to move the summer along. So we're in high gear now. So yeah, as these light codes are coming in, what I received this morning was you might be going through hot flashes, you might be going through freezing cold, and those are various parts of your light body or quantum field expanding and releasing. So the freezing cold is your plasma body, more plasma being brought in to activate that part of your journey. If you're receiving hot flashes, you're burning off old programs, you're burning off old belief systems as well. For those of us, that are on mission, we're receiving new mission downloads and activations, and we're being prepared for the 7-7 Gateway. 7-7 Gateway is an amalgamation of all the galactic teams of light working with us as starseeds, bringing us information. We might even actually still be unpacking codes that we received, in the solstice in December, the equinox in March. What I was given is that those of us that are ready, everyone's leveling up and we're moving into another level of our mission and information. So I'm super grateful to be here. So who am I? I'm sorry, I'm Pink Bella. For those of you who are new, I'm a 12 to 22nd quantum dimensional Akashic healer and reader, but I'm also, I've been connected to the galactics, well, my whole life, but for a very long time. I actually knew that I was a star seed from the Pleiades in the 90s. So I get little, new information. I share with you all as I can. I also, was part of the twin flame activation and connection. The reason I say part of is because I have actually moved into the soul flame journey, but I'm still here to help all of you that are connecting with your twin flame. And it's just another name for a different timeline, basically a different option. Okay. We are multi-dimensional beings. We don't stay in one box. We ever evolve. And I'm grateful for that. Okay. So for many of you, you might be at the beginning, middle, end of the twin flame journey, and you're going to move into something else. There's always something else. And it's always been about our ascension and our awakening and knowing thyself. Okay. So that journey alone advanced my awakening far beyond what I would probably still, be trying to figure things out. Basically, I became Pink Bella. I became everything that I was meant to be. So yes, I'm a starseed. I'm connected to many of the local systems, including the Pleiades system and the Sirius system and the Arcturian system. But I've also, in the last few years, shared with you all that I'm from Andromeda as well. I've got origins in Andromeda. But recently, I realized that I was from the Lyran system, that originally part of my journey And for many of us, our Lyran aspects are going to be coming out more and more as we prepare for the Lion's Gate. The reason being is that as Lyrans, we've had a lot of healing to do. The Lyran system was decimated, and so a lot of it was blocked. A lot of our memories were blocked, as many Lyrans had to leave their home constellation, including the planet Vega, and go to other systems. So I've just recently embraced my Lyran aspect, and I've done enough healing and releasing around the time frame of losing that home. And I'm moving more into my empowerment and my journey to help you all as well. So the Lyrans have definitely connected to the Lionsgate this year. They're coming out loud and proud. And some of you may have actually been working with the white-winged lions. And they started to work with me last year, but they're really here now. So I have a team of 8 winged lions that are working with me now, which is so beautiful. So some of you, if you haven't had that experience, you may have that opportunity for the Lionsgate this year, okay? All right, so I had brought in some messages yesterday for the Facebook Live that's also on Rumble, but I got completed the download today, so I wanted to come and create a video here. So thank you all for being here. Okay, so I'm going to pull some cards as well and see if there's any new information. All right, let me just see where to start. Okay, so I just created a video about the J seals and the disruptors, the removal, so you can check that video out. I'll also put the link below in the description box. Right now, we're going through a massive chakra overhaul, and we do this quite often. This is also what the light codes are about. So yesterday came in the message about the crystalline skull. So some of you might be experiencing migraines, headaches, teeth pain, because your whole upper chakra system is getting an overhaul. And it's the, the light codes that are coming in right now are trying to push out as much density as possible. Some of you might be receiving lower chakra healing and clearing. So you might be receiving spine pain, knees, legs, feet, bones, lower back. So it just depends. There's no right or wrong. It just depends where you are in your journey and what portion of the program where density is being pushed out, because we're moving from carbon to crystalline beings. Okay. What really came through with all of the healing, as my throat was taken offline for 12 days, forced vacation, that I had a complete rewrite of my neural pathways, of all the new chakras that have opened up, a rewrite with the seal removal of the pituitary pineal gland, the zeal point, some call this the ultra major. New chakras have come online. Like I literally felt like a rewriting. So oftentimes we will be taken offline. We will be forced to rest and sleep as these upgrades are in process. Okay. So what I was given was how important the throat chakra is to our evolution as it opens up and the lock and key codes come off of it through initiations to make sure we're in our integrity and in our heart. We have more access to our super intuitive powers. Okay. The ultimate goal is to make sure that our 12 strands of DNA come online so that we are reinstated as 12th dimensional beings, and we have that connection to source, God, goddess, all that is. All right. So that came in. So some of you might be experiencing issues with your throat, and that's because your upper chakras also want to open and expand. It's also a connection to our heart chakra and our high in the middle of our chest. So the 12 chakra system is getting an absolute overhaul at this time. What are these superpowers about? Oh yeah, there's a lot to talk about. I'll leave that, I think, to the end. We definitely have this Lyran connection, like I said, coming in. So some of you actually might be healing that. And I was reminded in the last couple sessions this week that anything that we feel deeply, any triggers of grief or sadness or anger, if it's really deep, if it really comes on strong, it's a multi-dimensional reaction. So there is something that's happened multi-dimensional. So as an example, the grief, what came up for me with the throat and everything that was clearing out was grief, and it was multi-dimensional. It was from me losing beautiful family members in this life, including someone really close to me that I lost last year. And it was also connected to all the other lifetimes on this planet, losing homes like Atlantis and Lemuria, losing the connection to our galactic family, being trapped in this quarantine planet, going through a recycling process. And then, since finding out that also the Lyran system was a home loss for many of us as well. So there's been ongoing battles, many of the deep emotions in our DNA we brought in to heal. We came in to not only be multidimensional beings, but to heal multidimensionally. So actually, what's so interesting is I've actually been doing some galactic and intergalactic Akashic healing and clearing in some sessions for some advanced souls. So it's been super interesting. So the Lyran connection is coming forth very, very strongly this year. And I'll bring in more information from the Lyran Council of Light soon. But some of the abilities that they're bringing to us is empowerment, helping us take back our power and be in our power, strength and courage, and helping us to be in our sovereignty. The other interesting thing, I forgot to mention it in the J seal, so I guess I'm supposed to mention it here. Some of the trauma when all of this happened, when everything got shut down and then our DNA got compromised, is we also lost our wings. So there's also a trauma where the wings should be. So many of us, our wings are coming back now that are, at the process of being able to release the J seals and the other seals that were created to disrupt the advancement of our DNA. Okay. So the Schumann resonance is just one aspect. It's a representation of the light codes coming in from source, from the galactic center. Everything that's happening right now is bringing in a new version of our higher self. It always happens through every powerful gateway. I knew that the solstice would be powerful, and we'll continue to get light code activations throughout the entire summer. So the next big powerful portal is the 7/7 gateway in July. Okay. This is all about activating new abilities, new superpowers, and we're going to need those superpowers. Okay. And then the final goal, of course, is to free ourselves and free the planet from being in quarantine. That is under process. There is our councils off planet and also the white hats on planet that are working on that process for us as well. And then we're boots on the ground crew to do whatever we can to heal ourselves. Healing ourselves is the key, because the more of us that heal ourselves, the more of us free the old grid system and allow the new grid system to come in and activate the ascension into 4D, 5D, etc. Okay, from a physical point of view, from an earth point of view. And this is to free us. So for some of you that haven't felt free, the reason you haven't felt free is because you know deep in your soul that we're really not free, that the third dimensional reality of us moving around was actually an illusion, that deep down we've really been on a collective level. This planet's been in quarantine, and we've all been in quarantine for thousands of years. So our true freedom, sometimes why it's so hard, is because the freedom's in our soul, because we've lived in other places in the universes and galaxies, the metaverse. We've lived in places where we have had total freedom, where we've been able to travel multidimensionally free and not be trapped in this game. But we came into this game to help the game end. So you're all needed. Okay. All right. What else did they want me to bring in? Okay. All right. Let me pull up. I just have a couple of slides that I want to share. Okay. So I've talked about this before. So those of us that are Starseeds, Blue Rays, light workers, 144,000, we brought back this blue flame, the blue frequency that's been dormant. And the reason I sometimes repeat and go over information is to help new souls who find me, but also it starts to resonate as we get through the gateways and our consciousness expands, we start to resonate. So we've got this blue frequency, and what is that? It's also connected to what is called the God gene in our DNA. So I'm just got it over here. I'm just going to read it on a bigger screen. So this is like scientists have actually proven that we have a God gene. This is to connect us to source. This is what's kept us woke. This is what's kept us from not believing the stories, the lies over and over and over again. Okay, so the God gene is an actual part of our genetic code, and it suggests that human spirituality is impacted by heredity. So this gene, all of us agree to incarnate in a family genetic line that had this gene to keep us connected. And it just predisposes us towards mystical or spiritual experiences and beliefs. So we are all an expression of God, because every thought, action, and expression of our consciousness is God in action. So you are all God source in action. And that's why we work together now as a team to keep going forward, and we get stronger. It's going to start getting exciting. Okay. And then what we're working towards is all 12 strands of our golden DNA to come online to allow us to be the 12th dimensional beautiful beings that we are. All right. Now, why do we need these superpowers at this time? Why all of a sudden has the plan been ramped up? Because there's false players down here. So I consider myself unplugged from the third dimensional matrix. However, I'm still here in 3D to help, to assist, to bring light, to bring information. And when I'm out there in the world, I'm doing, I'm activating the new grids. I'm bringing in the violet flame to transmute old energies. I'm keeping our areas high vibrational, and all of you can do that as well. And if you come to work with me, I will give you the tools to do that as well. And working with the dragons and the unicorns has been an honor for sure. So what's happening is this summer, we're going to be going through a massive timeline split. I did get told that something was going to happen before the Lionsgate. So I just know that it's going to get quite exciting, and the story is going to get quite exciting. So what that means is we're going to start noticing the glitches in the false matrix more and more and more. Okay. So we're also, part of our superpowers right now is not only to detect the glitches, but we will have the ability to detect the inorganics, the beings that are players in the game, but they don't have a soul. They may be a clone. They may be AI technology. They may be part of Team D. So we're to pay attention and be alert. All right. So I've already had an experience. Of coming in contact with some AI, not just technology, an AI being. And I had it was quite an allergic reaction, and I didn't find out till later, till I got home, what had happened. So apparently they detected myself. It was in a store. So apparently they scanned me on the way in, and they detected that I was not one of them, and that I also hadn't taken the magical whatever. So I was fine in the store. But as soon as I got into the AI area, which is self-checkout, which I didn't know, so we learned something from every experience, my throat closed up and I couldn't breathe. So I feel like a couple of things happened, but we'll just say for now that I was scanned, and I just heard like there was a manipulation. Okay. So anyway, I left, I was fine. And then I was made very aware that this technology has been in and around us for a long time, but it was really ramped up since 2017, 2018. And I grew up in tech. I actually studied, I was a computer programmer, and I worked in tech for years. I actually studied AI in tech college years ago. I didn't like it because I didn't like the way it was going. I could feel the darkness behind it. But I worked for a lot of tech companies, and I was a project manager for years. So I'm really excited right now about where our technology is going, as long as it has good intent behind it, because the dark intent is what brought Atlantis down, and what has brought a lot of other civilizations down. So we all came here to be boots on the ground in our hearts, light, connected to source, and to do the work of source. We are the ones we were waiting for. We are the ones that came in undercover, but we're not undercover anymore. However, I'm still being guided that we're to seal and protect our energy. And as an example, now that I know that there's AI in that area, if I need to go back to that store, I will just cloak my energy so that they won't detect me. Okay. So once we have the information, we have lots of abilities. So, and since I've gone through the upgrades, the transformation of the seals removal, my abilities have ramped up as well. And I'm more connected to source and my higher self, and I have clearer guidance. So I just wanted to share that all with you. Okay. I'm going to pull just a couple of cards. I'm just loving that, actually, that the God Gene, what that's called, because my dad's name was Gene, and he actually spelt it that way. So that's his little wink to me, because he's in the other dimensions now. He went back to Andromeda. So, okay. All right. Some similar cards to yesterday. You can still check out the, I put the Facebook Live on Rumble as well, so you can check out that link too. Okay. So overall, I love it. So we are going through an Akashic Stargate right now. So we've got all these different portals, which are equate to timelines. So it says it's aligning us more with our purpose. Many of us are at a crossroads to make a decision about which way to go, and there's no wrong path, okay? So that's a beautiful message for all of us. We're going through quite a few activations. We're going through a high heart activation, which is here, which is near the thymus gland. So it's so interesting, the wording. It's about divine love and that our heart is healing, basically, okay? So some of you might be going through like a cosmic heart or a high heart activation. And you might feel some pressure in this area when that happens. We're also, for those of you who are Blu-rays, we're going through a Pleiadian activation. So the Pleiadians are still very active and working with many of us at this time. It says coming together, harmony in the heavens and resolution. They're just reminding me about something. Okay. All right, they're letting me know to talk about this sentence. So this is, so even if you feel like you're from another system, like the Arcturian system, the Pleiadians are still working with you because we have Pleiadian DNA as well, okay? All right. And then the bottom of the deck is star being healing code. So all of us STARSEEDS Blu-rays, 144,000. The 144,000 is a code in our DNA. It came in like the 1111 to help us remember, okay? So important information is coming in. Your wounds are being healed, and many of us are recharging at this time. Yeah, that's why I was taken offline for 12 days without a voice, was to rest as much as possible. Okay, so this is an actual, I'm thanking a viewer who emailed me, and it was super interesting. Let me just have a sip of tea. Okay, so I've done this for years. I always set intentions before I go to sleep. Pretty well always. Even if I forget, I activate my Merkaba or work with my Merkaba a lot. And I set the intention to have a meeting with my team of light, to connect and maybe go to the ships for healing. And sometimes I go back to the Pleiades or wherever I'm guided to go. Okay, so it is rare that I just hang out here. As soon as I knew I was a starseed and I could do that, immediately it was like, okay, I'm going to set the intention to have meetings with my team, etc. Okay. So I had somebody write to me to say that I had met her in the astral plane and that I was very angry and I wanted to harm her. So I want to just put you all on alert. It's super important now for us to level up and be conscious about, we need to take care of not only our quantum field, but also when we're offline, AKA sleeping, that we're setting clear intentions about where we're going. Don't want to hang out in the fourth dimensional astral realm. You don't want to be somewhere where you're going to have an experience like that. There's no point. Why would you want to do that? There's also beings out there that mimic me and other people. There are beings that are still mimicking some of the archangels. So you have to listen to your heart. The other thing is that is a type of initiation. So if you have that experience, you can wake yourself up. You don't have to stay there. You also question everything. I mean, in that situation or in real life, you can always ask the being, are you of the light? And I'm going to thank another client that brought that to me years ago. She was always meeting Team D, who were cloaked as humans, or she probably met some AI and clones as well. And she would ask them if they were of the light, and they knew that they weren't, and they had to answer honestly, and she would leave or they would leave. So it's very real. The game is really getting ramped up. It is like a sci-fi movie at this time. So we've got to ramp up our skills too. So you don't want to be hanging out with Team D in the astral realm. You want to make sure that you're using your offline time you can set the intention to go to your ship and meet your team. You can set the intention to go back to the Pleiades and go to school or the Sirius B. So we have so many options, and that's what I want to share with you all. We also have to be conscious of, there are beings mimicking our guides, and trust your heart. If you make a connection and it feels off, trust that it feels off. Disconnect and reconnect when it's a better time. Set the intention to connect to God, Creator, all that is, and have God send the angels to you. Okay. So God, Creator, Source, Energy, all that is in the galactic center and beyond. And that's where we're connecting to. All right. All right. Love and aloha. Thank you also so much for liking, subscribing, sharing this video. I hope that it helped you. This is all preparation for the 7-7 gateway and the Lion's Gate. We're being called up massively, and our abilities need to be ramped up as well. All right. Love you all. Have a beautiful evening, morning, day, wherever you are. Take care. Be back soon. Oh, If you would like to work with me personally, check out the specials below, including the new J Seals removal and Templar Seals removal session, which is in person or distance, still on special. There's also a group quantum session for all of us preparing for the 7/7 portal. That's on July the 2nd on a Saturday, and it's also recorded. All right, and I think that's it. Anyway, if you have any questions about my website, please email me. I'm so grateful to be able to help as many starseeds and light workers and all of you that I can at this time. All right, have a great rest of your evening, morning, day. Love and aloha. Take care, everyone. Bye.